Hello SXV fans, what is going on now? Just to check if I'm filming, yes I am. Now today is a special video. Now I was requested from someone to do a tutorial on how to add pictures in a video, but I took it a step further and I actually made this a complete guide, and I'm making it a complete guide as you can see on the screen right now on how to basically how to use Sony Vegas and the basics of it. So first of all, what you want to do is open Sony Vegas Pro 13, and yeah, now I can talk to you about the basics. So this is the look, this is how I like to use it. In fact, I don't really like having there's normally another preview screen, but I closed it as I really don't like it. There is a way to actually reset everything. I think it should be in view, window layout and default layout. Okay, this is how it is, default. But if you really want to work with stuff, I would suggest just closing that. It doesn't do much, and actually dragging this, so you just click, or you see here, you click on it and then drag it, and if you want it bigger, you go up and down like that. Okay, so alright, let me take you through it very easily. This is a project media. Okay, for instance, for example, if I just insert a picture, not a video, you'll see this is the project media, and if I click here, it will just tell me that this is one of the project media, one of the projects that is basically in it. And if you see, there we go, I've got some more media, and if I delete it, it will still be there because I can just drag it down. So that's really handy. So yeah, now I can delete it from here, and then it will just be like done, and then I'm not in it anymore. Well, that's like literally got nothing to do with the project, but that's what project media is. You can like drag it to the bin, I think, but just trust me, this is the basics. I'm only going to be telling you what you actually need, rather than some people just telling you crazy amounts of detail. I'm going to talk about what you really need. As fact is, I've been using Sony Vegas for about 3-4 years now. Even though I'm 13, I've been using I've been on YouTube for a very long time and had a lot of channels. Okay, so this one is Explorer. Basically it's just another version of this. Yeah, File Explorer, that's all it is, but it's in Sony Vegas. So I would say just keep away from it. I really don't like it. So let's move on to transitions. Now if you don't know what a transition is, let me just show you. Okay, so I can import, alright, let's find a clip of me and my face, my beautiful face. Alright, I'm gonna mute the track. Okay, so if I do a transition, alright, you can look, there's so many. If I just go there, and you can move on your keyboard using the down arrow key. Okay, I like this type of animation, so I drag this onto here and I've got a transition. But I'm not telling you how to put a transition in at the moment. You probably might have picked it up, but this is the transition. You see that? It did exactly what it said. Maybe if I deleted the transition and put that, it would still look. Okay, maybe not. Oh yeah, because I forgot to that was a big flop. Basically I forgot to remove the other gradient. But you see what a transition is? We will be going on to that in a bit, but at the moment this is just basically me giving a brief overview on how to use it. Okay, so we also have, one second, sorry guys, I'm just gonna put this on my second monitor to keep track of time and to tell you what we're going through. We're actually going through a lot of keyboard shortcuts, some cool effects, pictures, how to put pictures on videos like I've already showed you how to, and yeah, some more stuff. So let's just move on to video effects. Now this is amazing. You can actually do a lot. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly talk about a few of them that you might actually need. This is called a black and white effect. See that? You drag. Everything in Sony Vegas is to do with drag. Trust me. You just drag it on, and done. Nothing of them or importing things. Nothing to do with that rubbish. It's all amazing. Pyramid is basically no, it's not Illuminati. But you see what I mean. You can play around with it. Like I said, I'm not gonna just bother telling you how to do ridiculous stuff when this is a brief overview. So if I just keep going, obviously if I see something which is actually worth talking about, then I will actually include it. This is something called a green screen, chroma key. Now what a green screen actually does is you can for example, if I had myself behind something, a green background, I'll even use Google for an example. Let me just type in green screen, and basically I'll show you what it is if you don't know what it is, but very quickly. Okay, so say that was me, let it load. Alright, that's me, and then the green screen I can change. In fact, I can do it right now. I can literally change the background of this green screen very easily by simply dragging on this effect, and see the background went. And if I actually import a picture from my camera, well, yeah, from my computer, it will go to the background like so, if you see there, and then we can like move everything. But you see what I'm on about? That's a green screen. So yeah, I will be teaching you that very soon, but at the moment not so much. Okay, so that's out of the way. I think I've covered everything except for media generators. Now this is something that you should consider using a lot. These I wouldn't recommend using. The only thing I would recommend using is these for when you need credits in your video. Okay, this is plain scrolling on a black background. This is on a transparent, so I can actually have credits just rolling on a transparent background if I just pull it underneath. You see that title and text, and it goes up like so. So yeah, now if I do a black background, I will only see a black background and nothing else. So you get my point. Now these are light flares. Maybe if you're using some effects or anything like that, you will be needing them. These obviously are just basically JPEGs of pictures and something like that. Okay, so these are actually, I've never seen these because I just tend to not use that many things, but this is centered text, so it will basically center the whole of your text automatically with no manual control. So it's going to be doing it all by the program, and it's a very clever program. This is basically if you want a solid color, so maybe blue, green. Obviously you can do this in Photoshop like I have here, but for example we can just do it on Sony Vegas. So now this is you know when you hear a beep, and that's what the people put in their videos. When you hear a beep on your video, if I bother to edit in, because obviously I have to overlap my audio, I might show you, well, make you listen to what the thing, the beep actually sounds like. Alright, that was a bit of a hard word. Alright, basically now these are what I use the most. Media generators, I look for nothing but titles and text. Alright, these are pretty cool. Sample text is basically just a sample text on the screen, nothing else. Action flip is, alright, type in Sony, yeah, Sony Vegas, and if we speed it up by pressing Control and on the right hand side just dragging it, so basically this is what this looks like sped up. Sony Vegas, done. So it looks like a flip. It's doing a flip, obviously not too extreme, but yeah. Now if I just hover over, you can actually preview yourself what they look like. Now if you see the ones with like black and gray squares at the back, that means it's a transparent background, which is what you would ideally want. Drop split means you basically have it doesn't have a transparent background, neither does the rough day one, like I'm pointing my cursor on here, but yeah. So we also have twisting. This is very good as well. And what else do we have that I would basically recommend using? These two. This one is really hard to preview because it's actually a very heavy effect, so I would actually advise, wait 1 second, just look at that was pretty cool. And I've even got my, alright, I need to talk to you about a lot of stuff still. Alright, so that's that out the way. This is legacy and text. It's basically just some cool text, nothing really fancy. It's kind of cheesy. If you want some really good text, then you should just install a sample font. Yeah. Okay, so what are these? Well, you don't really need to know. Basically, that's just what we just saw, and now I can actually move on to my main focus, and this is kind of important, so I'm just going to drag this out. Okay, so like I said, I'm not going to go over loads of unimportant things, but I will. I will. No, I'm not going to. Alright, this is actually the properties. You can press Alt and Enter, like so, and it will bring up this. Now what this does is you can customize a lot of stuff to do with your project. So if I wanted maybe 4K, I would do 3840 times 2160, so 3840 times 2160, but I'm not going to do it today. Well, we're just going to leave it at the rubbish. Oh, come on. Wow, it's not working. Okay. Alright, sorry for guys. Alright. This is the frame rate. Now, if you've seen in videos, it says 60 FPS. If you want 60 frames per second, only if it's actually filmed in 60 frames per second, then click on this. Right at the bottom, it says double NTSC. Click on that, and then there we go. Now, I would leave everything the same, and maybe the pixel format, yes, very good. You can put this to best, however, it will take longer to render, so I don't know, it depends whether you're willing to sacrifice time. You want motion blur on Gaussian or Gaussian blur, like I like to say. Just change everything. Now, pre-rendered is basically where it's just going to store some files. Now audio, basically you can customize the audio. I would say just leave it at that much. You don't need to go any higher, in my opinion. If you're doing like maybe covers, maybe increase the bitrate and sample rate hertz. Alright, you can actually put your title and everything all in here, but I wouldn't recommend it at the moment if you're just making a YouTube video. So now we can press cancel, and if you did need to save any changes, just to press apply and then done, it will apply. Okay, so this is actually a preview button. Alright, I need to quickly get a video. Okay, so I've got a montage here. Oh, okay, when you import something, it will say do not it will say, do you want to set your project video settings to match this media? I normally say yes, because if it's a 1080p video, then obviously I want it 1080p. If it's not, then I don't want it. Okay, so this is my montage, and what this actually does, you'll probably hear music in the background, so I'll mute that. What this actually does, this button here, is it previews it, but I've got an external monitor, so I cannot show you how it works. But if you do press it, most of the times with one monitor, it will just come up as a big file, like big screen, so it will be enlarged. This video will be as if you're watching a YouTube video in full screen. Okay, so once that is done, now we can look on the preview button. Alright, if I go to draft and then auto, look at this, it changed like drastically the quality. If I put it on full, keep looking at that. If I put it on preview, it looks a bit sharper. Now best will look even more sharper, and I would recommend putting on preview full every single time if you're editing a video, because trust me, it's not too bad like this. That's really bad. That's just uneditable in my opinion. You need to look at some quality of the video, so that's why I pick preview and full. Now if your PC is a bit laggy and obviously you're not as fortunate as I am or some other people are, maybe just bump it down to draft and full, and then I think the video will still run very nice. Now if that's still not good, just go on half, and then yeah. Now if that is not any good, then obviously you'll have to make do with auto or quarter, but I really don't think you should be using Sony Vegas if your PC can't handle it. Alright, so that's over with. That is the overview. Now how long have I been filming for? I have no idea, so we've lost track of time, but I think it's around 10 minutes, so we can now move on to some keyboard shortcuts. Alright, keyboard shortcuts, mouse shortcuts, whatever you want. Okay, so say if you wanted to duplicate this track for some reason, you wanted 2 of these tracks, you would right click and then it would say duplicate the track, and press duplicate. You see you have 2 more, and then you can just delete them, not by pressing the backspace but by pressing the actual delete key on your keyboard. Now if I wanted an audio track, I could press Control Q. If I wanted a video track, I could press Control Shift and Q, and I have a video track like so. Now you probably see me like moving this up and down, and that is because I like to keep my timeline organized. If I have maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I would like the timeline so I can see all of the tracks and not like one of them and then my thing really big, the preview over here. So obviously that's why I do it, and I think that is beneficial to anyone just starting out. Okay, so what else? More keyboard shortcuts. We can also if you want to split a clip, say you didn't like this part of the video and you just wanted that part. Okay, so we can actually press S on our keyboard, the letter S, and press that and it will split the clip. Now you can probably do it somewhere, in fact, no, why even bother when you've got the opportunity to press split? Now, if sometimes it doesn't work and you're pressing S and it's not working, you have to actually click on the track. Sometimes it's clicked on another track, so just be careful in Sony Vegas. And I haven't told you what these buttons do. This button is basically, I have no idea, I've never used it, so it cannot be any benefit to you or to me. This is a loop playback, which basically means it's this, and trust me, stay away from this. In my opinion, this is one of the worst things that Sony Vegas has. You might disagree, but it kind of gets buggy sometimes when you're editing. This little thing, you can drag your cursor on and it will loop anywhere between this and that. So if I press loop playback, it will loop this bit. If you see it's this blue thing, it will loop it once after the video's ended, and it will basically go back to the start like so. And then if I click that, it won't loop it. So that's why I don't really like it, because sometimes when you're rendering, if you leave this on, it will only render this bit. So remember to pull it back or to put it to the whole video, etc. Okay, so what this button does is just plays from the start, the whole clip. That's pretty sick. And yeah, this one just plays from where it is. You can press space, this pauses it, this stops it, this goes to the start, goes to the end. Now these are actually pretty cool if you're editing montages or anything. Say you wanted to kill, if I skip to anywhere good, okay, say if I wanted to, you basically hold it, you don't want to just keep clicking your mouse. So I want to get to where I get the headshot, so I can press split on my keyboard and pause and play the button, and there you go, I've got the headshot, and I have a separate clip right here of just the headshot. There we go, that was pretty neat. And this is some of the stuff Sony Vegas can do. If you hold that there, it can also help you a lot. Now also in the description, I hopefully should have got a time to get around to putting time zones, so if you want to skip to another part of this tutorial, then feel free to, but I'm doing this in one take and one take only, and hardly any editing whatsoever. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is some cool effects and some cool different things I've learned from Sony Vegas. So say if I wanted, alright, let me try and find a really good kill. Alright, he says really good kill. I don't get that many good kills in Battlefield, considering I just met this epic player on Battlefield. Alright, so alright, let me just get, sorry, this is really time consuming. I want to get to a kill that was pretty sick. Alright, here. Alright, you see this? I got a kill right here. Alright, so we can actually reverse this. If you want to know how to reverse something or copy something, just press copy. Now don't press Control C, because this is very unreliable. I tried it and it just generally doesn't work, so just manually press copy, not Control C. And now you can press Control V. Now Control V works, yes it does. Okay, so if you want to reverse a clip, yes, play it backwards. Note how we're doing nothing to this original clip, we're just reversing this, so just press reverse, easy as that, and you'll see a little arrow facing the left hand side. Now watch this. See, it got reversed. Now it would have been better if I showed you a video of me doing gymnastics, because it would have looked a lot better, but obviously for purposes of this video I'm just using some simple gameplay. Alright, so that was a bit of more video editing techniques. I've got some other ones called effects. Now effects, you want video effects, so I've shown you how to green screen kind of, not too much. Alright, this is called cookie cutter. Basically, see, it just cuts your whole video into like a little different thing. So yeah, I don't know, I've never used it, I never probably will. Yeah, it's just basically a gimmick. If you want to make some cool like crappy effects, and go ahead. This is also called defocus. Now this is pretty cool. Say if, Alright, I'm just going to tell you something which is kind of advanced, but it's not really. Okay, say if you wanted text, but your text doesn't stand out. So what you want to do, remember everything I told you, drag in Sony Vegas. Everything has to do with drag. Now I really like this pop-up thing, so what I'm going to do is drag it. Now note how this is at the bottom layer. If your text isn't showing up, it's probably because it's not on the top layer. So what you do is click, hold, and drag to the top. Okay, so this says pop-up, but I can't really see it, and if I chose another color it wouldn't be that nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to shorten this by dragging with my left mouse button. I'm going to apply a really cool effect. Now this is called defocus. So this is like a bokeh blur, and look at that, it's blurred out. See that? Now you can clearly see the pop-up, not so much the actual video. If you want to see the video just a bit, I would recommend doing a Gaussian blur, or however you pronounce it. I would probably go with a light blur or a medium blur, and alright, a medium blur doesn't really work that much, so I would go with a light blur, and then that will be all good. And now you can kind of see the footage, but not really that much. Okay, so moving on, we also have a few more effects. We have some glow effects. So I took a quick break, my brother walked in, and basically I was talking about some film grain, but let's just keep the video flowing. So what I'm going to do is I've talked about Gaussian blur, glint, maybe not. Alright, you can play about with this on your own. You don't really need me to teach you too many technical techniques in this. This is for beginners. Okay, so if you're talking about this is a prime lens, which is basically like no telephoto whatsoever. And if you don't know what I'm on about, then never mind, but it basically gives you like all these different types of lens flares. So you know, like when you film the sun and then you get like all these different light stuff, it's basically like that. Now I love this effect. You've probably seen me do this in some of my videos, but what it actually is it puts light rays. Now this is like a little technical, but alright, say if I put a weak light ray on, you see that it goes a bit blurry, and if I put the sensitivity, it won't do that much. It will actually just create some noise on the video, not in terms of audio, but noise, if you know what I'm on about. Moderate light rays. So basically if I play it, it's actually a pretty cool effect if you speed up videos. So if I wanted to speed up this video, I would actually want to choose this. Okay, if you don't know how to speed up a video, I've already told you, you go to the end of the video, which is normally the right hand side, press Control on your keyboard, and it says drag to time stretch. So that is the fastest it can go, and now I can make it slower, like so. Look at that, I'm making the actual thing slower. Look at that, everything's really slowed down, and yeah, you can just see the whole video in slow motion. It's pretty cool if you want to do anything, but now I just want to put some weak light rays on and show you the effect that we have made. There we go. Nice, nicely done. Alright, I think that's really much. That's all for this little thing, but we also have pinch and punt. I don't know what this is. Literally, I've never used half of these because you don't need that many for videos. I actually can use this time code. Basically, if you need some like FPS stuff, it will tell you the real-time FPS of the video and tell you the time of the actual video. It's pretty cool if you're doing like challenges and maybe you have 10 seconds and you can put a time frame on instead of like manually doing it yourself. This is a TV simulator. You can use these for some pretty cool effects, yeah. Alright, so I've talked about some video editing in general. Now, if someone wanted to, for example, put some, well, this part is what was influenced by one of my subscribers. So say if you wanted a picture on a video, and I will teach you how to do it. I've got a picture on this video. It kind of doesn't match like a lens on a gameplay, but okay. Alright, I'm going to teach you. Alright, if you want it to, the thingy to become smaller, not the thingy, the picture, come on, be professional. Alright, if you want it to become, overlap the video, you drag this out. Now before that, go on the scroll wheel and just scroll down and up on the scroll wheel. Now drag this out for as small as you want, but I don't want it that small for the sake of this video. Now you're probably thinking, oh easy, I can just move this about. Nah, you can't really leave it like that. And the reason because I basically don't advise you to do this is because one, if I want it to drag like all the way, see, look, the video's going because this little bit here isn't basically good enough. So what you want to do is actually put this on a new track. So like I said, everything in Sony Vegas is to do a drag, so you can drag this onto a new track and it will manually create it for you. So this is on a separate track to anything else, don't get this mixed up. And now press this track motion, and what you want to do is, I can pull it on a second monitor if I want, or I can just basically do that. So now you can actually manually move it about wherever you want, and no one, well, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. So that's really, really cool. You can also rotate it maybe 90 degrees. Okay, it's not letting me. Yes, it is. Yeah. All right. My 9 isn't working for some reason. 300 degrees, lol. But yeah, that's that. Now I'm gonna delete that, but that's pretty cool. That's how to put a picture on a video. Now video editing in general, say you wanted loads and loads of clips. Okay, I have loads and loads of clips on my PC on Battlefield, so these are probably all trash, but this video I know is pretty sick, so I'm actually gonna delete this and remove this. Okay, so say if you wanted to put loads of videos together and you've already skipped to where you want it to. Alright, I want to skip to here, but I just realized that I want another video. I want an epic video. So what you want to do is drag another video onto it. Now what I tend to do is actually just zoom out of everything. Now if you want to zoom in and out, you can use this. However, use your scroll wheel on your mouse. It is much better because you get a more you get a better view and it's more controllable. Okay, so I actually want this clip put right here, this exact spot. So what you do is press S, split. It split the clip, so it's made it into 2 separate videos, and I just want this little bit. So now I went too quickly. I press S because I'm used to this so much. I do this every single day. And now I press delete and done. And I can drag it back, and play it, and it will basically skip. See, it just skipped to this little clip. And there we go. Done. And then it'll skip back to the actual video. So that's pretty cool. This is general editing. Now if I wanted to maybe put a bit of text on top of it, I drag it on a new layer. Now if you see, I'm not dragging it here, I'm not dragging it onto here, I'm dragging it up, and then pop up. Obviously you can change the text to whatever, but the pop-up will come up obviously, and yeah, like so. Now any effects for anything, I wouldn't really advise going too over the top. Effects is basically a gimmick unless you know how to work with them. You know what your audience like. If your audience like loads of effects, then go ahead, do it. But if you're making skits, I would, and you need like effects and cool effects and stuff like that, and I probably said effects a lot of times, but oh well. That is basically all you need to know. The letter S is to split, and the delete key is to delete. Simple as. And if you see me go back, there's here redo, but you want to know the posh way, or the easier way, not the posh way, the informal way, and that is to press Ctrl Z or Ctrl Z on your keyboard, and everything I just did will go back. Now if you want to go forwards, you can obviously press Ctrl Y or just press forwards. I normally press the forward button because I haven't really experimented that much. Okay, so I've showed you a few techniques, but I want to show you a few advanced techniques as well. Okay, so what do I want to show you? Okay, here. Alright, so I'm killing a person, but I want to maybe slow just this bit down, just where I get the headshot. Alright, you see here? I just want to slow down, so I'm using this next frame thing. Alright, I want to slow this down. Alright, you can see the fire. I press split on my keyboard, S, and I just want to slow that until it just gets shot in his head. Look at that. And I'm zooming in as well. Look how tiny that clip is. But soon this won't be tiny, as I will be pressing Control and dragging it to make it very slow. Okay, so that is basically now slowed down, right down, and it doesn't seem that slow, but obviously it's just a tiny clip. I can make this whole clip even long. Oh, see, that is what I hate. Look at that. Alright, just drag it back, and there we go. Alright, let's try it again. Now everything's just in slow motion. You can see the game in slow motion. It's pretty cool how it works, like all the guns and everything, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to do some work on Sony Vegas. Alright, so that's all done. I'm gonna delete everything like that, unmute that, unselect. Alright, there we go. So now let's move on. Finally, this has been a long tutorial, and if you do want any more long tutorials, and even comment below what tutorial you want on Sony Vegas, and I will help. I will actually help. I'm not even lying. I'm not one of them people where I've got like more subscribers than most people and I don't reply to any comments. I'm one of them people that will always reply to the comments, no matter how many subscribers I have, or yeah. So obviously I will try and reply to as many as I can, but just bearing in mind I have school as well, so yeah. Alright, let's go. Last and final thing. Come on guys, we're nearly there. We've nearly finished our first ever video. I've told you guys how to do a lot of the stuff in Sony Vegas. I hope you have mastered the basics of it and some final editing. Okay, so I want to make your life easier. For YouTube, there are four main things. Okay, so if you would like to render in 1080p, all you need to do is unselect these two, unselect them, and you'll have a list of things. Now look for something called main concept, ABC, AAC, MP4. Alright, that is what basically it is. Now scroll down and you will see something called internet 1080p. This is what you should use to render. Now you can actually favorite these by just pressing favorite. I want to favorite these because that is the only thing I use. Internet HD, 720 and 1080. Okay, so that is it. Now if you want to render it now, basically you press the render button right here. You can actually browse to where you want it to save, and then just press the file name, save there, and then render, and then basically you'll have a rendering thing and it will show render the whole video for you. Wow, that's going pretty fast. Okay, so if you want to render in 60 FPS, what you want to do is make sure 60 FPS is selected here and hit apply. You can put 60 in if you want, just manually, but it doesn't really matter. Now if you want 60 FPS, as you can see I've already got one there ahead of the game, and I basically, what you want to do is right click, in fact no, you want to press customize the template. Okay, so this saying the frame rate's 29 or 30, it's not. Is 60. We want to find 59 or 60. Okay, just put 60 manually, and there we are. Come on, 60, enter. There we go, and it will make some random template. In fact, we can change around with the audio, but just try and match everything up to mine, and there we go. Now press favorite on this, and you can actually customize the template and actually rename it to 60 FPS. Obviously I can't do it at the moment because I've already got one, but then just press render and your videos will be rendered in full 60 FPS. Now, last but not least, if you do want to rotate a picture or a video, it is simple. In fact, I use this for every single one of my unboxing, believe it or not. Alright, look at that, all my unboxings are done upside down because I actually have an overhead camera angle. You probably wouldn't know that, but yes, I do. So what I do, I sacrifice a camera angle for it being upside down, but that doesn't matter. I'm fine with that because by simply clicking a few buttons on my keyboard and mouse, by pressing event pan and crop, going to angle, pressing 100, so we want to flip this, so a bit of math for you, 360 degrees will make it turn all the way, but we want to do it 180, so we can just woohoo, now we can do this. There we go, that is 180, and as you can see there, we have everything here, and if I even press Control Z, it's upside down, so we can redo it twice, and there we go. See that? I have my unboxing right here. Now, oh, my fast voice. Alright, basically, yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like. Now, I really want to make this really quick, but want to add backing music to any video, do this. Okay, so I've got a bit of backing music. In fact, I'm not, you'll probably hear some. Okay, so that is the music, but why is it so loud? You want to do this volume slider and turn the decibel from 0.0 to maybe -28, depending on how loud your voice is. Alright, that's a bit fast, but I don't really care because it's just a tutorial. But like I said, you can barely hear the backing music, and it is a lot better now. Sometimes,
yeah, so let's just get into it.
If I got some dubstep backing music, then I will actually.
And it also comes with 2 years warranty, so
that's slow. But yeah, so that's that. So guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It took a very long time to actually make, because it probably took me about half an hour. I'm not quite sure how long this video is, but yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please give it a like and thumbs up, and also subscribe for some more Sony Vegas tutorials. Anyway guys, I'm Hamza from Super Extreme Video, and I'll talk to you.